Today we are taking apart and cleaning a Dyson Floor Head, which is found on the DC40 DC41, models like that. You're going to need some Torx screwdrivers, the T10 and T15 size, they're like a star shape, also your standard cross-headed screwdriver and a pair of sharp scissors. Also optional are 2 flat-headed screwdrivers. Our first step on our little mission is take the floor tool off the vacuum cleaner. Just pull on this red clip that's underneath. To get to the brush bar, we now need to release these 2 red clips at the back. Then it all just lifts up like so. Take your cross-headed screwdriver and there's 4 screws that hold the brush bar in place. I'm just going to fast forward the unscrewing part so you don't die of boredom. Now there's 4 screws along this section, again cross-headed. And this allows you to pull the sole plate off. Now we're going to just put this to one side and we'll go through the cleaning part shortly. Going back to the brush bar, which is covered in hair, this just pulls out like so. Just give it a bit of a wiggle and pull. Yeah, we're going to clean all the hair off and then show you how to wash it properly soon. And then likewise the other part of the brush bar, wiggle it and then just pull it out like so. This front part too can just be put to one side for cleaning. Now we're going to take off these 2 drive cogs to get rid of the hair that's behind them. These are held in by a T10 Torx screw. So what you do is you find the screw that goes down the centre of the cog, and with your left hand, or obviously vice versa if you're left-handed, you just hold the other cog whilst you undo the screw. And then once we've done this, we can get access to this hair behind it, which can actually get tangled and stop the floor tool from working. So this is good maintenance to do this anyway. Now if you get your flat-headed screwdriver, put it behind it and just twist, the cog will come off. You can just pull them off by hand, but what's the point in battling? Now this next part is really satisfying, where you pull the hairs out and you'll see they just come away and like a ring of hair that's been choking the motor on your floor tool. Again, if you do this perhaps once a year, your floor tool is going to live longer, your motor's not working as hard, you're not going to get it jamming up. More screws now, and there's 2 underneath, and then there's 3 there that hold that panel in place. These are a bigger T15 Torx screw head, again the star shape. So essentially these are just covers that we're removing now. Once you've undone the screws, they just pull out. Again, a little bit satisfying. You'll find loads of dust and probably hair underneath there. Just scrape that out with your screwdriver. We want to remove all this before we do the cleaning process in a bit, otherwise it all goes all manky. Now the top cover just comes off, and here is where the motor is inside your floor tool. Obviously we don't want to be washing that, so we're going to take it out. There's 2 screws that hold it in place. They're T15 Torx screws. One is here and then one is here. Now if you just push from the cog, it all separates from this clear part. Now you will see another Torx screw here. If you just undo that, this is going to be the final screw that holds the grey plastics in place. We need to disconnect the motor by pulling on the 2 connectors. Just squeeze it with your fingers. You can use pliers. Also, if there's any dust around here, clean that away. It's not good for the motor. Now we need to just pull the wiring from this casing. It goes down a little channel. You just pull it away slowly. I'm doing it slowly here because it'll remind you to take note where it goes in a bit. Although I'll be showing you how to put it back together again, don't worry. Now this wire goes through the plastic here, which we want to clean. So we need to remove the wire from it. If you just push the connectors through, it all then comes out. Right, so now we have all the plastics we're going to clean there, and then we need to put them separately to the motor and any wiring that we've got here, which we're not going to clean. Now we're going to take a look at the sole plate, and mainly this ridge that goes around here. You're going to have loads of fluff in there and hair and bits and bobs. We're going to clear it out with a screwdriver, being careful not to pierce it. Now what we're doing this for is we don't want to be washing this and getting all this wet because it goes smelly. Likewise with the hair on the brush bar, we need to be cutting this off first with scissors before we do the washing. So get your sharp scissors and just put them underneath the hair, and then you can just pull the hair off the brush bar. Again, this is a good regular maintenance thing to do. Don't let all the hair gather on your brush bar, so it can get trapped down the ends and it can cause your brush bar to jam. So keep doing this. I'm just going to fast forward this bit again. So now that's the brush bar all done. Now check that your end caps are swiveling nice, and inside there's going to be some trapped hair and stuff, I guarantee it. So take your small torque screwdriver, undo the screw, and then the end cap just pulls off. Again, a good regular maintenance thing to do, because inside there's all this dust and dirt that can cause friction and make the plastic melt. And then ultimately you get your brush bar to a point where it won't spin at all. Needless to say, we just repeat the process on the other side. I do love that bit where you pull all the dust out. I have no idea why, it's just so satisfying. Pop the end caps to one side with the motor. We're not going to be washing them. So next, let's go to the kitchen or the bathroom where you're going to be filling your sink. You're going to get some soapy water, a toothbrush and a paintbrush. And there's no set rules to this, we're just scrubbing all the individual parts. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit of this. Again, there's no set rules, so I don't want to be accused of killing anyone through boredom. Just while we're watching this, by the way, on this clear part, I do need to point something out. We're obviously scrubbing it with our toothbrush, like I've said, no set rules, but there is this little rubber seal that goes around the edge. Now, I don't actually remove this, but if you find you're cleaning yours and yours comes free, that's where it's come from. Yes, I was just about to say, whilst we're cleaning this and you're watching me scrub things in the sink, please don't forget to like the video. It's not the most entertaining one I know, but it's here to help people. I'm going to be showing you how to put everything back together shortly too. So yeah, please like the video and comment with something nice if you feel like it. Please don't comment with anything horrible, it does upset me. And the last thing you need to do, of course, is subscribe to my channel. I do have more videos, and they're not all as dull as this. Now this sole plate, I do need to point this out. Remember earlier we were getting dust that was stuck in it. So for this reason, I still don't want to go and dunk it in the sink. I just go around with a semi-dry toothbrush and just clean any dirt off, any dust. I just feel like if you missed a bit of dust that's in that concertina part and you go wetting it, it's basically just going to make a smelling nugget of rubbish that smells. We don't want that. And now all the cleaning is done, we need to put the stuff in a warm, dry place. A rare day in England where it was sunny, I put it outside. And now we return to the bits that we didn't wash. So we're just wiping the end caps with a dry cloth, and we're going to spray a little bit of WD-40 on the ends because there's little bearings in there, or just keep it all lubricated. So it's all nice. Again, a good maintenance tip. Now once everything is dry, and I do mean bone dry, leave it for 24 hours if you can. We're just going to start putting it all back together. So we're putting the end caps on the brush bar first. Again, this is the smaller torque screw that we use, if you remember. Nice and simple, push fit them on and do the screw up. Now are you ready to be amazed? These paint scuffs here, I'm going to clean these off with Lynx body spray. You spray it onto the plastics where any paint scuffs are, a little bit on your cloth, and then you just rub at them. And you don't have to scrub, you just wipe it, and the Lynx gets the paint off. Now this is obviously an optional step, but I just thought I'd entertain you and put it on here. I think it's a great tip, and God knows what it does to your armpits. Now we move on to the clear part where we're putting things back together. We've put the motor unit in, that just fits in like so. And if you remember rightly, there are two screws. One goes here, and then there's another one that goes at the front here. So we're just going to fast forward this bit. Now get your wiring, and it goes this way round. not any other way. So we're putting the connectors in first down the left hand side as you look at it. You might need to poke them down with a screwdriver, but obviously don't damage your wiring. And then there's a hole on the other side in the clear plastic, and they just push through there, and then they can be pulled through. Once they're through, we need to then thread them back into the casing the way they came. So these fit into a little channel. This bit's a bit fiddly and a little bit annoying, I'll be totally honest. But they do fit into a little channel. And then that way, when we put the cover on in a little bit, nothing's going to get trapped. You need to obviously connect the motor again. It's obvious which way these go round. There's one's shorter, one's longer. Like so. And then just check again that your wires are in place again. Now on the other end of the wires we have the connector. This swivels on the vacuum cleaner, so it just sits there like so. It's not held in place at all. If you now turn the whole thing upside down, there's this little part that fits over with a clip on the end that tucks in, and then the other end presses down. Now if you hold it in place and turn the thing over, there's a little torque screw that goes at the end of that, just tucked down there. So if we put that in, and obviously once we've done this, again just check that the wires are still in position. They can move whilst you're doing this, which is a bit annoying, because then the next step we're going to do is obviously put the top cover on, and then all the motor bit is all done then. This is secured underneath, one each side, which is T15 Torx screws. And then this panel can then be clipped in. It kind of just pushes into position. And then there's 3 screws along there that we're going to have to put in too. Again, they're going to be the T15 sizes. And then the cogs, if you remember. Now these are a certain shape. They're like a triangle, but they do only fit a certain way. So what I do here, look, I can just twist it and push it, and you'll find its way on. Not always going to get it on first time, but there's only one way you can do that. Again, tightening them up, holding the other one with your left hand whilst you do the screw up. If you don't hold the other one, it's just going to spin. And now we have the sole plate to put back on to the clear part. Now this fits into this little channel. This bit here pushes in, and that's kind of like a hinge, if you like. Same the other side. Now if you can hold that in position and put the front cover on, this just pushes down, and then we're going to turn the whole thing over. And if you remember rightly, there's 4 screws on the inside of that, so we're trying to hold that in position whilst we're going to put these 4 screws in. Obviously as soon as you got 1 or 2 in, it makes your life easy, and that just hinges like that. Next, the brush bar. Now again, this fits a certain way. There's a little shape in the end of the brush bar which fits onto the cog. If you look out for this bit on the cog, and then it corresponds to a little cutout inside your brush bar. And with the long bit of your end cap facing towards the back, we're going to line up that little part and push fit it in like so. It'll just fit into position nice and easy if you've got everything lined up. And obviously put the 2 screws in. We're going to do the same with the other one, lining the shape up, pushing it in so the end cap fits in position, and we just secure it with the screws, nice and easy. Now put these 2 clips facing inwards, close it, and then we can lock it into position, and it's all done. But before you go anywhere, the entertainment's not over, because we're going to look at these little wheels that are on the sole plate. These get hair trapped in them. Mine haven't, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You get your small screwdriver, your flat-headed one, and just prise up the little pin that goes through the middle, and then you can get any hair off that way. And then to fit them, you do the reverse order. So basically you're putting the pin in, and then you're pressing it down on the side that you lifted, like so. It locks into position. The only wheels that you can't really do are these on the clear part. They fit in a different way, and they're just not worth the hassle. Comment below, was this easy or was it hard? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This next video is if your model is making a strange noise when you turn it on and off, a bit like a woo sound. You know what I mean.